Is the red thing flashing? Crazy Bill TV, where the camera's always on. Because it always makes great for story time. Plus, if the camera's always on, you get the original version. Let's see if I can crank this camera down a little bit or up. I don't know. There we go. You zoomed in on me, didn't you? So, story time. So, where I learned to boat was, or really got into boating, was Moab, Utah. I kind of cut my teeth there. I did some custy stuff where I was a custy, but Moab, Utah is where I actually learned to boat. So, and like every boater and or raft guide, sup, bro? Can I borrow everything? So that's what we did. I borrowed a ducky, and my best friend, he borrowed a cat boat. And of course, the cat boat was in pretty decent shape, and it had actually Sawyer polecats on it. There were some nice oars. And then I borrowed a Star top of the line ducky. It was so great. It had a foam floor in it because the relief valve no longer worked. So we, me and my best friend, we used to rock climb all the time in Red River Gorge. And so, we do trips, whatever. And so we go to the put in because you got to go to the put in when you go boating. We went to the put in. God, where is the put in? Did we do the long trip? Hiddle Bottom. Hiddle Bottom is the long trip for the Moab Daily, but we didn't do Hiddle Bottom. I think we put in at the one rapid that's halfway down, like 7 miles in. It's been a while. I don't even remember what that rapid's called. I can't. White's Lake is on there too on the Moab Daily. There's like 4 to 6 rapids. So anyway, we're getting everything ready. We're on borrowed gear, and we get to put in, and we're standing on the bank, and it's gloomy and it's cloudy. And I don't think we were really wearing wetsuit gear. We wore like splash stuff because we didn't think it was going to rain. And he's like, dude, are we still going to do this? I was like, when have we ever let weather stop us from going boating? I was like, it'll probably be fine 80% of the time, and it'll probably rain like the last half hour, 20 minutes on like a 2-hour trip. So sure enough, we launch. He's in the big cat boat, and I'm in the little ducky, and we do everything just fine. And God, I'm thinking of all the rapids on that. Oh, I should have probably studied this. Anyway, there's rapids. We go through the main one. It's a class 3 plus, do just fine. And then somewhere stupid, of course, in Nowhereville, almost a no-name rapid, I swim. And so my ducky goes upside down. I get on top of it, and he's like, flip your ducky. And I'm like, screw that, because now it's raining, it's cold, and I'm wet. I might have had a wetsuit on it this time. I didn't buy a dry suit until I started creature crafting. And so I'm like, dude, get over here. So he boats over to me. I'm able to get on his boat, flip my ducky over, and then get back in it. And so now it's not only raining, but it's windy as all get out, like upstream wind. Yeah, the W word, as we call it in boating. No one says the W word because you don't want it. You don't want wind. So I get back in my boat, and of course, now I'm cold, which is now the motivation to paddle to take out. So there's 2 takeouts there. I think there's Sandy Beach, and then there's regular takeout. Like I said, I don't know all the names of this. I just know it's the Moab Daily. It's fun, and it's like a 14-mile trip, but we did a 7-mile trip. So I start paddling. He's like, are you okay? I'm like, yep, just got to keep paddling. And so I took out at the earlier, did I take out the earlier one? Because it's only like a half or quarter mile. Either took out earlier or not, but I know one thing, I sure paddled like crazy to get to shore because I was cold. And then, yeah, that was her story. Like, he's like, well, are we going or not? And I'm like, well, of course, you got to go. And like, it's a good step to like mental training in boating. Like, you're like, oh, you got to have all these skills, or you got to have all this gear. Boating a lot of times is right up here. That's where the whole class 2 plop and drop comes in. Like, either you can do it or you can swim. It's all class plop 2. It's all class 2 plop and drop until you swim, where you get your water wings. You got to get your water wings on. You can put your water wings right here's where your water wings go, right in here. We all wore them as kids in swimming pools. So I may start a brand called Class 2 Plop and Drop Water Wings. That's my new business venture, Class 2 Plop and Drop Water Wings. We'll give them away as gag gifts at what you call it, at festivals like the Northwest Creek Comp, or at Clackamas, or at the Meadow Creek Race, or some more, or at the Cow Salmon Get Together Race, or there's all kinds of races, or at the Green Narrows. I heard the Green Narrows was giving away a brand new or 87 Subaru, whoever won that. So, yep, Class 2 Plop and Drop here at Lunch Beach. We had story time. I might get Micah on here. He's pretty good at telling a story. He was telling me stories about monkeys that got loose. And it just kept going and going and going and going and going. You're like, really? Really? No way. That's what the customers say. That's when you gotta fish. You gotta fish and you gotta reel it in. Reel it in. Just throw it out. Let more line out and just let it go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And then bam, there's the punchline. And they go, really? And you go, no, it's all BS. Or it's all full of baloney. But don't make your story just plain old yellow mustard. You got to be like Delgado. Your story's got to have the Grey Poupon. It's got to have the spice, the tangy, sweet taste that it leaves in your mouth. You'll always remember it. Remember, a raft guide, you can always tip over it. Let's see. What's the saying? You can tip your guide, but you can't you can tip something, but you can't over tip your guide. Yep. So that was story time with Bill. Love to hear everyone else's story. I'm probably going to start bringing some people on here. Yeah. Again, be safe out on the rivers.
The chase came out of a reserve.
Make sure you look out for your fellow boaters.
Did come out.
So,
yeah,
am I the only one on, Gene? I can hear you in the background.
Building it up again. Now we're back down to 3
so, yep, Class 2 Plop and Drop. And again, subscribe to my channel. I'm going to start coming on live at Lunch Beach. We're going to go live at Lunch Beach. And today's Lunch Beach is at Bill's place, also known as Pepcock Manor. So, again, subscribe, hit that notification bell.